You know, I was sitting around thinking to myself, and I said, Self, there's got to be a difference between intelligence and smart, right? Smartness and intelligence is got to be a difference. You can't really use them interchangeably like most people be doing. So I figured I talk about two great examples in Star Trek canon that could represent smart and intelligent in just the greatest of ways. And those two people are Dr. Leonard McCoy and Lieutenant Reginald Barclay. Wait, Trek Cannon, there's people way more better to represent intelligence and smartness in Trek Cannon than these two, man. What are you talking about? I believe that these two people are perfect examples. So let's set the stage, right? It's two particular episodes in Star Trek canon that I like to reference when I'm talking about this particular point that I'm trying to make. And I think that's season three's episode one, Spock's Brain, and I believe it's like episode season 4, maybe 18 and 19 of Star Trek The Next Generation, called The Nth Degree. Now, of course, I will be covering things that will include spoilers, but you guys know how I roll. But if you guys haven't seen these two particular great episodes, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, Spock's Brain is not a great episode, but looking at it in hindsight, you will realize, whatever, that it is a great addition to Trek canon. So it's two particular species in each of these episodes that kick off what ends up being the contest of today's show, the smartest intelligence debate, and who the two people I'm gonna use to represent it, and that is the Silurians, and that is the teacher. Was it the Cytherians? I think it was the Cytherians, maybe Cytherians. Yeah, I'll buy that for $1. Now, both of these particular species reign from our particular galaxy. They're not extraterrestrial, extra galactic, or nothing like that. They're from our galaxy. They two races, but they in these particular episodes. And I only mention them because they're not the topic, but they are the catalyst. They're the reasons that these two people end up with the gifts that they end up with. So since we're going chronologically, let's talk about Dr. Leonard McCoy in this episode, Spock's Brain. Now, see, what ends up happening is, of course, Spock's brain ends up getting taken and la 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 la. What I really want to talk about is the teacher, which is from this ancient civilization from Sigma Draconis 7. Thing is, they got this device. They have this device, I should say, that basically houses the entire knowledge of the ancient database. Sorry, wrong show. Sometimes I get Stargate SG-1 and stories from Star Trek mixed up because all the writers from Star Trek went over to Stargate and wrote their stories again, but with little twists. I think I covered that once in one of my videos. Anyway, Dr. McCoy has to put on this device basically that so that he could get the knowledge of the teacher, right? And has to put back Spock's brain, which of course is impossible up until this point because even according to Spock, man, this ain't never been done. Now, on the flip side, we got Lieutenant Barclay from the Next Generation, right? They come up upon, what was it, the Argus array, the Argyle array, the Argus cluster. I think it was the Argus array. Anyway, it's shut down because it's this little probe floating around and everything like that. It ends up attacking the Enterprise with all this radiation and everything. And before, right, but anyway, Ash and Geordi LaForge and Lieutenant Barclay, who's in his shuttlecraft, to go get a closer look. Anyway, throughout the episode, Barclay ends up increasing in all of his attributes. He can play music, do chess. He's like, his confidence levels increase. But the big thing is, he just becomes the most smartest dude on the ship, smartest dude on the ship. So we got two situations where two humans were artificially enhanced with their neural capabilities in two different situations by two different species, and let's talk about the comparisons of those two. So let's talk about the attributes that was increased by the teacher. See, the thing is with the teacher, you put this thing on and it gives you basically all of the knowledge that's inside the ancient database of the particular knowledge set that you want. In Dr. McCoy's case, it was knowledge of a surgeon. So it dramatically increased his skill set as a surgeon, allowing him to go ahead and start putting Spock's brain back with all the different neural connections that needed to be made. Now, on Barclay's side, like I was previously saying, all of his attributes start going up. Barclay was the type that was an introvert, as we all know. He's bad in social situations, but he started to get a lot of confidence. He started to be able to step forward. He started to solve problems that not only Jordy couldn't solve, but Data couldn't solve. And you know how Data is when it comes to his mental capabilities. He even flirted with Counselor Troy to take her to the Arboretum, and as she said, it almost worked. He should have started with chocolate. He should have said, "I'm gonna take you to a chocolate arboretum." Now we seen that Barkley was able to start playing music. He was able to do a lot of things. His abilities in all across the board straight up increased. Now, of course, there are side effects of each particular situation. On Dr. McCoy's side with the teacher, the main side effect was limited retention. So all of the skill set boosts that you received from the teacher, you only retain for a certain amount of time. Now, on the flip side, from the Cythurians, if they probe, go ahead and enhance you, the side effect is basically death. Your brain becomes too active and too much information ability to be able to house inside this little cranium that they call the human head. Now, the thing about the teacher is this, and a lot of people, when they watch the episode, is going to ask the same question right after this sentence is made, and is going to get the answer to that question if they just give it, 2 more seconds, because it's answered right there in the episode.
Any additional attempt to use the teaching device is impossible. It would kill my medical officer.
The teacher can only be used once. Anything outside of that once, you risk brain damage. So, that's one of the side effects of that particular increase. Now, on the flip side, with the Cythurian increase, brain damage again. So that's not good. So you might ask yourself, well, between these two people, if you have Bones and you have Barclay from the nth degree, and you put them together for a task and you say, hey, I need you guys to accomplish this task, right? Which one would be the best, most efficient and effective person at completing that task based on the upgrades from the teacher and from the Cythurians? Which one would be the smartest and which one would be the more intelligent? We could go into the question of, I wonder who was more advanced. Was it the Cythurians, or who basically, they got around by using what looked like wormhole technology. They just put the Enterprise straight through a wormhole. So that would equate to their level of technology. But then you have the teacher. Their technology equated to, I'm going to have to laugh when I say this, ion propulsion, which according to that episode of Star Trek was like way ahead of even warp folding space. Now, I have to laugh at that, looking back at it now from 2024. So I'm going to go ahead and give the edge on which of the two species between the Cythurians and the teacher was the most advanced. I'm going to go ahead and give that to the Cythurians. They out here making wormholes. So what's the upside if one decides to run into the choice of two of these particular species? What would be the choice? Let's see. On the upside from the Cythurians, you have an all across the board attribute increase in your knowledge, skill set, like all of your mental acumen is increased with the Cythurians, right? But you risk death if you don't find a way to put your consciousness inside something that can house all of that information. And on the flip side, you got the teacher, right, who will basically just straight up max out one of your skill sets and for a limited time only, and that would be the last time you do it. First of all, I'm gonna have to say it, and I think they covered this once in Stargate Atlantis. When people get real smart like this in sci-fi, why don't they ever write down the information? Like, just start writing it down, maybe make a video explaining this stuff, break down the concepts, because they know this information is going to be limited or something like that, or something going to happen where they're going to get a tumor, they're going to die, something like that, but they coming up with all these inventions and stuff like that, they lose the information. I don't know how I did this. Why don't they ever just keep a record? And Rodney did it in Stargate Atlantis, but the whole little loophole there was, he didn't even understand the base level math to figure out what he had wrote down. So I had like that, but they never do it in Star Trek. So then what is our end question, right? Our end question is then, what is the difference between smart and intelligent? Now, I think the actual definition is intelligence is the ability to quickly learn concepts and apply those concepts to things. Smart is the ability to have strength in a skill set. All right, so smart person is, I'm great at math. That person is smart. I've read a lot of books here. This person is smart. But Bones, he was a surgeon. You didn't see him in that episode doing anything other than that particular skill set. And what was that? Being a surgeon, okay? As opposed to Barclay, who was more intelligent. Barclay was able to take concepts that he was introduced to and then put those across the board. He was able to do things like, okay, that's the melody of music. Okay, this is the sequence. These are, okay, I can understand that. This is something mathematical. I can quantify this. We haven't thought about things along these lines. Okay, well, let me take a little bit of here. Computer, let me tell you how to
The Enterprise main computer core utilizing NeuroScan interface.
There is no such device on file.
No problem. Here's how you build it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, as far as intelligence and smarts goes, a great example of the two would be Bones from Spock's brain, right, as being smart. The teacher made him smart. And intelligence being Barclay from the nth degree. The Cytherians made him intelligent, able to apply all the concepts that he could to be able to reach out there to where the Cytherians were. Now, here's something that is non-canon. That's something I've always thought about, and me and my homies used to debate a long time ago. Right? Let's throw this little conspiracy theory out there. Right? Let's say, for instance, that the ancient civilization that was in the episode Spock's brain, not the I-Morg. Okay, first of all, a whole society full of women and bring the men down there, and that whole little pleasure pain thing, that whole BDSM thing they had going on with the pain belts. Okay, I ain't gonna get into that. I'm not talking about the I-Morg. I'm gonna keep them way out. I-Morg and a morgue, and then the board. Okay, nope. I'm gonna keep out. Anyway, so this is a little side note, right? What if the civilization for Sigma Draconis 7, that glaciated world, right? What if that civilization, because they knew that they weren't going to be able to survive there for long because it's glaciated, and I don't know why, because of the level of technology they had, right? But let's just put it out there that when they left there, they traveled 70,000 light years away, and they became later the Cytherians, and they said, hey, you know what? We took a real long journey, man. We tired of going out. We don't want to go out no more, man. We encountered a whole bunch of stuff we don't like. So from now on, let's just send our probes as teachers out and teach people how to come back to us. And now that we done got a lot better, because now we don't just make people smart, we make them intelligent, and this intelligence lasts a lot longer than 2 hours, because they're gonna probably need a little more than 2 hours to get to us. So that's just something that I was thinking about, and I just want to put that out there. But anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ring the bell for any future content. And as always, peace, recycle, and save the whales. You guys be cool.